freshly showered, ready to take on the day. Hello, beautiful friends and book lovers. I hope that you're all doing well. If you're new here, my name is Heather, and here at Heather's Book Review, I love to mainly read and review mysteries and thrillers, but I will read just about whatever I'm feeling. And today I am filming my June and July reading wrap up. Didn't film one for June. So then I was like, you know what? I'll just combine them because why not? It'll be a fun video. It'll be a long video. And that indeed, my friends, because I will be talking about 9 books and what I rated them. But I do have some exciting news, which you probably already know if you follow my Instagram. But you're just going to be seeing water on this video for some time. You guys know I love to plug my wine. I love to film and have a glass of wine. But my husband and I are expecting our second baby. I'll put the picture that I put on Instagram here. And so exciting because if you're new here, we already have a son. He's a little over 2. He turned 2 in June. And this baby is a girl. So we are just so over the moon, excited. Like, oh, we can't wait. So yeah, that's my big news. No more wine for some time. And I will probably sound very out of breath. I noticed I was sounding out of breath a lot in my more recent videos. I don't know. I was like that with my son too. I don't know. It's weird. But anyways, that is our exciting news. Also, I go back to work tomorrow. 7th year of teaching. I'm excited, but it just feels like the summer wasn't long enough, especially with our son's injury that I mentioned a couple of videos back. It just, yeah, I could use another little break to reset, but you know what? I'll take what I'm given and just, yeah, starting a new school year. 7th year, you guys, isn't that wild? Okay, so I'm just gonna go in the order in which I read these books. So it looks like in June, which makes sense because that's when my son was recovering the most, I only read 3 books. So I usually at least average 4, but yeah, June was 3 months and July was 6. So, and that explained it because he was healed. We were traveling. We went to Michigan for some time. So let's start with the first book. The first book that I finished in June was Every Little Sign, which is written by Michelle Pace. Michelle actually sent me this book. She emailed me and asked if I was interested in a copy. And I looked it up on Goodreads, read the synopsis, and I was like, heck yes, this sounds really good. So I'll read the back for you guys too. It says, 3 may keep a secret if 2 of them are dead. Emma Gray is a young attorney with beauty she's unaware of and grit that's easily overlooked. But all she really wants is the ordinary life she didn't have as a child. On a rainy night in Boston, she walks into a pub to meet a group of colleagues. Conversations and cocktails flow, but something more sinister is at play. Not everyone will survive the night. The next morning, she awakens covered in bruises and scrapes, yet all her memories after leaving the bar have gone dark. The revelations to follow will change her life in ways she never saw coming. In this gripping thriller, Emma must decide who she can trust, which clues to follow, and how far she's willing to go to discover the truth. On my rating scale, I ended up actually giving this a go get this book now because I flew through this. Like, I actually flew through it. I thought it was a really well done thriller. It's like a book I would suggest if you're in a reading slump and you're like, you know what, isn't this, sorry, I'm just like so distracted. This part of my hair always gets like so curly. After it's wet, you guys are gonna see it poof out throughout the video. Anyways, if you're in a reading slump, I would recommend this because it's a fast-paced thriller. That synopsis is like totally my jam. I just knew that I would enjoy it. I had a feeling I was really gonna enjoy it. So yeah, I ended up really liking it. It started off my reading month of June. Does that make sense? Strong. Next is one of my top 3 favorite books of the year. You guys, I absolutely loved it, and that is Love on the Brain by Ali Hazelwood. I love her writing. This was the second book that I read. The first one was, what is it? Oh, right there, The Love Hypothesis. So good, so steamy, so funny. Like, I actually felt there was more humor in this one. Just like, I feel like I don't really laugh out loud when I read books, like, much ever. I don't know, probably because I'm reading dark, sad, depressing thrillers. But when I read like a romance, it's actually, I don't know, I love to just laugh and have fun, but like I typically don't laugh out loud when I'm reading, but I was cracking up reading this book. I just thought it was perfect. The romance, the steam, just like, oh my gosh, I loved it. If you haven't read any of her books yet, please go do it. This is my TBR shelf down here, all of these books. And her latest, Love Theoretically, that orange one, it's on my TBR, as you can see. So I'm saving it. I'm saving it for like when I need like a little pick-me-up, you know, or like something to get me out of a reading slump. But yes, all of her books are go get this book now for me. This was 5 stars, still remains in my top 3 of the year so far. So the next book's a fantasy. And it's not like I don't ever read fantasy. I actually love the A Court of Thorns and Roses series, which you guys know. I love it. It's my favorite fantasy series. Still is. But, any guesses? Look at this beautiful pages. Fourth Wing. Hello. Do I even talk about it? You guys have, I'm sure, heard everything already about it. But if you haven't, this is just all over Bookstagram. I'm not on Book Talk, but like I know it's all over Book Talk too. And I was like, you know what? Whatever. Like I'll do it. Dragons, romance, steam, like count me in. I've been waiting forever for the 5th book for the A Court of Thorns and Roses series. I don't know what the heck. It's like, hello, please. But I was like, you know what? I could use a little fantasy for sure. Loved it. Loved it just like everybody. It was a 5-star for me. This was my last book of June. But yeah, I would highly recommend reading this if you haven't already. Like it's really good. It has like Hunger Games vibes. It's basically about this girl who has to go to like this training school to see if she can end up one day being like a dragon rider, but only like a select few make it in. And she also has this like health condition that like really just adds another layer of challenges on for her. And then there's like this steamy romance, and it's really good. I really liked it. I didn't fly through it like I did with A Court of Thorns and Roses, but yeah, I still really, really liked it. I still gave it 5 stars. I totally see what the hype is about. Now we're getting on to the books that I read/listened to in July. The first book is Gone Tonight by Sarah Pekkanen. This was courtesy of St. Martin's Press through NetGalley. So thank you, NetGalley. Thank you, St. Martin's Press. This was honestly such a good thriller. I ended up giving it a 4.5 stars. I would say it's a go get this book now for sure, because it's crazy. It took me a little bit to get into, but it's this mother-daughter duo, and they both find out that the other has been lying to them about some pretty serious shit, and then like they stop trusting each other kind of thing. And oh my gosh, it is really good. It's really intense. I just looked it up now on Goodreads, and it has over 3,000 ratings, over 1,600 reviews, and it's still averaging a 4-star on Goodreads, if that's like persuades you at all. I really, really liked this. It was an e-read for me, but I'd be interested to like know if any of you have listened to it on audio, because I feel like it would be a really good audiobook too, just because it really is only like those few perspectives, you know? Anyways, loved it, highly recommend. I honestly think this next book, which I've already reviewed, is probably my favorite book of the year. Like the more that I've just sat on it and reflected after reading it, like I just love it more and more and more. So I didn't say that in my video. I said it was a great book, but it's None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell. I was able to listen to this courtesy of Simon & Schuster Audio. Thank you, Simon & Schuster, because you've introduced me to my favorite book of the year. And also Libro FM, which is the platform in which I was able to listen to the book on. Oh my gosh, you guys. It's so good. Like I said, I already have a full in-depth review for it, a non-spoiler part, but also a part with spoilers. I like to call those book chats for those of us who have read. It's so good. It's like honestly, Then She Was Gone was my favorite Lisa Jewell book before I read this one. This, it's just like, it has everything that like a thriller needs, in my opinion. You know, like it's honestly so good. Like, please go get this and read it now. I saw it was a book of the month add-on. Amazing. If you didn't choose it, you were on the fence, like choose it. Choose it for your next one because it's so freaking good. A 5-star chef's kiss. Next book. A book that sat on this TBR shelf for like over a year. But anytime I like talked about it on Bookstagram, everybody was like, read it. Read it. What are you doing? Why is it still sitting there? Like, just read it. So I did. The Lies We Told by Camilla Way. This was an October 2018 book. I wasn't even a member then. I think I became a member in 2020. But I always like to look at their thrillers just like if I want to have an add-on. And this was one always that I was eyeing. And then one of the girls that I follow on Bookstagram, we have very similar tastes, and she read this and she really liked it. And I was like, you know what? Okay, I'll give it a go. I ended up giving it a 4 stars. I would say it's an enjoyable read. I really struggled connecting with the main character in this book, our main point of view. Like, I felt like the writing was hard for me to read. Like, I don't know. I get this way sometimes, very rarely, but like I've definitely talked about like this exact phenomenon, if you will, in my videos before, but I don't know, like I was really struggling to like read it because of how it was written, especially with like our main character. I don't know. It's like, I'm trying to think of another book. Oh, yes. Hold on. Let me look for it. This book, Pretty Little Wife by Darby Kane. Did I review that one? I don't even know. I may have just mentioned it in a wrap up. I read that probably like half a year ago, maybe. Felt the same way. Like it was a good thriller, but I was like, I don't know, the writing, it just felt like it was really hard for me to like gel with the main character, if that makes sense. Like, and it felt kind of like choppy. Other than that though, it's actually really thrilling. Like I understand why people really enjoy it and like hype it up for sure. I feel like the ending, like it starts to get like wild towards the end, like in a good way. So yeah, that's why I got a 4 stars for me. I was feeling like a 3 stars most of the time reading it. And then towards the end, it just like really picked up. The next book was such a pleasant surprise because I didn't email the publisher asking for it. It was just like like unsolicited or whatever, just sent to me as a surprise. And that was The Block Party by Jamie Day. This is like the PR cover I was sent, but this is like the actual cover of the book. If this looks familiar to you, you guys, I gave this a 4.5 star, okay? This book is so much fun to read, okay? And I'll give you a little bit of a premise. First off, I'm rating this a go get this book now for sure, because I personally loved it. But let me tell you why, because I feel like why is, okay, just let me tell you. So basically, I love shit reality TV, okay? Like I love just watching the drama, okay? For example, I'm a huge Love Island fan, specifically Love Island UK, just because I love to listen to everybody's accents. I just feel like it's not the same if it's like US, you know? And I know there's Australia. I've tried, trust me. But I'm like, it's just not the same, you know? Like I need my UK accents. But anyways, I love watching that drama unfold. Like I'm here for it. And this book felt like that. Like it's this cul-de-sac of like really ritzy people and there's a murder. The book starts off with there being like a murder at their like annual block party. And then it like rewinds, you know, goes to the past. And then you see all this shit unfold with all these couples and just like, oh my gosh, there's so much drama. There's so much drama. The only thing that like bugged the heck out of me when I was reading this book was our main character is like a wino, like low-key alcoholic for sure. And the amount of times that's mentioned in the book, and like you guys know, it's an overarching theme in thrillers where like the female main protagonist is like an alcoholic, right? Because it makes them, I understand it like makes them be unreliable, but like it's so overdone. And when it's mentioned so much, I felt like it was like every chapter it's mentioned with this girl, like, I'm hiding the wine bottles from my husband. Oh no, my daughter can see all the wine I'm drinking. I'm like, okay, we get it. You have a drinking problem. You know, like that was the only thing that like really, I was like, okay, if this is mentioned one more time, like I think we've caught on by now. Other than that though, I had so much fun. Honestly, I had so much fun reading this book. And I think you guys would too, especially if you want a little thriller with like all the drama, you know, mixed in. Okay, the next book, another very pleasant surprise. I feel like every year we get blessed with an Alice Feeney novel, a Lisa Jewell novel, and a Riley Sager novel. So they're like, and you know, if Alex Michaelides comes out with one, which he hasn't yet, but another one is coming. But anyways, those are like the three that I really look forward to. And the only one left, I've already reviewed it, full review, ended up giving it a 4.5 stars. I would say it's a go get this book now. It was a very pleasant surprise because I haven't enjoyed his last two more recent novels. This one, loved it. I felt like it was everything that a thriller needed. Secluded setting, not knowing who to trust, a lot of twists. I had a lot of fun with this one. I would definitely get this from Book of the Month if you haven't already, or yeah, just order it because it's great. The last book was definitely a miss for me. It was a book that was interested in. I read the synopsis. I was like, okay, it's like a thriller in kind of like a camping sort of vibe. And that's Have You Seen Her by Catherine Mackenzie. This was another book that I was able to listen to courtesy of Simon & Schuster Audio. So thank you so much, Simon & Schuster, for giving me the opportunity to listen to this. But yeah, it kind of just missed the mark for me. The ending was actually pretty good. It ended up bumping up my rating to 3 stars, if that helps you at all. But the story itself, it was pretty good. You're following like a couple disappearances of these girls, but then there's like this drama going on with our main character, and you're kind of like confused about what's happening with that and like why it's related to the story kind of thing. So overall, it was just but I feel like the ending, like there was like this twist right under my nose the whole time that I didn't see. And then at the ending, it all made sense. And I was like, oh, okay. So like that was cool. But yeah, overall, it was just kind of like And anyways, that wraps up my June and July wrap-up. Wraps up my wrap-ups. 9 books. Honestly, the fact that the lowest star was a 3 star out of 9 books is like amazing. I mean, that just means that like I had a really good summer of reading. And I've read quite a few books already in the month of August. So I'm already looking forward to filming my August wrap up. But as always, thank you so much for watching. Please leave in the comments what you have read this summer, your favorite books. I love chatting with you guys. And yeah, I'll see you in my next video. Bye, you guys.